Jackson, what's up, dude?
Nothing.
What are you doing? What are you doing with my iPad?
Nothing.
You're recording?
Yeah.
Are you doing a pointlessly relevant video without me? Well,
I was.
Well, can I be in it?
Yeah.
All right, well, come on, grab a
Hey,
seat.
I'm trying to phone.
Oh, it's okay. Grab a seat. What are we going to talk about today?
You have a list.
I do. Actually, it's been a really interesting day. We have fed our reticulated pythons, and you know what? Don Finley, my father-in-law, your daddy Don, your grandpa, recorded it for us. So at the end of this video, if you want to see a feeding of the reticulated pythons, then stay on board. It is not a live feeding. These rats and rodents have been dead for a long time. They were frozen in our freezer, and I thawed them, but you can still see that process if that is something that would be educational for you. From Roy Allen Manning, how about a video to choose your first reptile? It would be good for those who are thinking about getting one. Okay, so let's talk about a few reptiles that would be easy for beginners, because just a couple of years ago, we were beginners.
I have one.
What is your one?
A turtle.
A turtle. Turtles are very easy to take care of. They're easy to feed. The upkeep is very easy. The one downside for a turtle, and it's not really a make or break thing, is that typically you need to have some sort of water source there for them, not just to drink, but for them to swim around in. What do you think? What are some of the easy to take care of reptiles? Okay, so when I hear people say, or when they come up to our booth at Repticon or something like that, it's typically, hey, we're new to this, my son, my daughter is really wanting to get a reptile, I don't know anything about them, you know, what would be something good for starting out? So there's a few options. The classic option is the bearded dragon. You can get a bearded dragon at any Petco. You can get bearded dragons at the Repticons, Reptile. They're easy to come by, okay? And they're famous and they're popular for a reason. They're a lot of fun.
Yes, they are. We had two and we breeded them.
That's right. We've had breeding pairs. We've had beardy. We've had a lot of bearded dragons in the past, and we probably will again. Now, the thing about bearded dragons is that they are desert animals. So you're going to have to make sure that their tank stays dry. You'll need about a 40-gallon tank. And as is the rule of thumb with all terrestrial reptiles, one side of your long tank is going to be a cool side. The other side is going to be your hot side. And for a bearded dragon, it needs to be a really hot side. You know, a heating pad underneath and a heating lamp on top to create that basking spot probably is going to be necessary. On the cool side, that is where you would have their water bowl. So the extra lighting can sometimes be a hassle, but once you get into the rhythm of it, they're really easy to take care of, and they form a relationship with you, all right? And that is one of the things...
I want another one.
I know.
Maybe another one.
We'll talk about it later. But that is one
Maybe
of...
for your birthday.
Maybe. But that is one of the things that people take into consideration, is that they want pets that will sit with them, that they can have a relationship with them. And unfortunately, people think, well, reptiles, because they're cold-blooded, you can't have that. That is totally not true. You can tell that they pick favorites, and it's really, really funny. Beardy, despite the fact that Aubrey hates reptiles, loved Aubrey. And Aubrey ended up coming around to her, to him as well. Bearded dragons are very easy to take care of. They're on the easy side. Anyone could love a bearded dragon. What is another really easy one? Crested geckos? Yeah, no, crested geckos. Crested geckos are very cute, okay?
Yeah.
And they're jumpers. Now, they are arboreal, so you're going to want an arboreal, not a terrestrial, but arboreal tank. Terrestrial tanks go long and flat, but arboreal goes up, okay? Your climbing species want an arboreal tank, and crested geckos are hysterical about this, okay? So, crested geckos, an arboreal pen, you're going to feed them 2 to 3 times a week, probably 5 to 10 crickets. There's also some good food that you can get made for them. Somebody's coming home. You can hear Patches barking. But crested geckos are a really good one. And also, they will jump to you, okay? If they see you, they will jump on you. Really funny stories. One time, my mom was trying to take a picture of Jackson holding the crested gecko, and the crested gecko took one look at my mom and jumped on her, and she just totally freaked out. Crested geckos are a lot of fun. So crested geckos are a very good beginner reptile as well. And they form a relationship with you. They're cute, they're a lot of fun, they're easy to take care of. You do have to keep their humidity up though, so think less about getting it really hot in there. Really a heat pad on the underneath should be fine, but you're going to want substrate, that's the dirt at the bottom. You're going to want substrate that holds humidity, and you can find that at any pet store. Crested geckos. Now, moving on, the next group of very easy to take care of reptiles. Great beginner reptiles. There are snakes. There are snakes.
Yeah, like opal.
Opal. Oh, okay, so we'll talk about opal here in just a minute. But before we get to reticulated pythons, here's the deal. There are 3 snakes that are really easy to take care of that are really high on a lot of people's list. Number 1, the king snake, the corn snake, and the ball python. When I was first getting into this hobby, I was like, yeah, snakes are cool, but I couldn't do that because you're just going to get bit all the time and everything. And I went to these reptile places, and they were just picking up the snakes, holding snakes. And there was this big realization in my mind that, quite honestly, they don't bite you a whole lot, especially these that have been domesticated. Can you get bit every now and then? Yes, but it doesn't hurt at all. You rarely ever get bit. You can handle them. They recognize you. Don't be sad. They recognize you. You can have a relationship with them, but they're also fairly simple to take care of. You need to make sure that they've got humidity. One of the best ways to take care of these snakes would be plastic totes versus actual glass terrariums. See, the thing with glass is that if you have something that needs to be hot and dry, glass is great. Glass terrariums are great. But when it's something that needs high humidity all the time, plastic totes are really the way to go. You just take some holes and perforate it for air and put a heat pad underneath one side of it. Something happened to my son. But ball pythons don't get very big. They also come in different morphs. You can get into the hobby of breeding. It's a whole lot of fun. Corn snakes go along with that. King snakes as well. But ball pythons are a favorite in the hobbyist industry. Jackson just took off, but I'll finish this video. One thing that you're going to want to think about is YouTube. If you want more information about a species of reptile that you want to take care of, go to YouTube. Just put in a reptile care. If it's a ball python, a king snake, a corn snake, crested gecko, or bearded dragon, just put the name in and put in care. And you're going to see all kinds of websites. Are there people that don't know what they're talking about? That is true. But for the most part, it's easy to figure out who you should be listening to. You're going to be finding these big names. Underground Reptiles, Brian Barczyk, BHB, Nerd Reptiles. These are people that have been doing it for multiple decades and really know what they're talking about. So research, and make sure that you are ready for this. The easiest reptile to take care of is a leopard gecko. I'm going to go get Laura, and I will be right back. Alright, so now we have Laura. She is our leopard gecko, and we love her very much. And you know what? If you are really intimidated by reptiles, this is something that is new, so you want to start with something easy to start out with. Leopard geckos. They're easy to take care of. Alright, so she is in about a 10 to 20 gallon tank. On one side, on the underneath, there is a small heating pad. On top of that is a little hut that she likes to go in. On the opposite side of the tank is her water bowl. What we do is we take crickets, and this is the rule of thumb for most reptiles, to tell you the truth, except for snakes. So they love crickets. Now, you can get them greens, you can feed them various other things, but what we do is we take crickets and we powder them with calcium powder. Another trick I like to do is I put carrots and various vegetables in her tank. She does not eat them. However, the crickets eat them, and she eats the crickets and gets all those nutrients. She is very sweet. She's easy to get along with. She's beautiful, and she's a wonderful starting reptile to get into the hobby.
She's going back on my shirt.
She's going back in your shirt. Absolutely. Listen, if you have any questions or comments or anything else you want to know, then by all means, just leave a comment, leave a question, and we'll do more videos. Now, we'll go ahead and talk about reticulated pythons, because we enjoy reticulated pythons. Our biggest one as of yet is between 7 and 8 feet long, we think, and that is Opal. She is a lavender, tiger, motley, golden child.
Is she still have her head on?
Reticulated python. That means that she's got 4 different genes inside of her. And one day we're going to work with Samson at Slither Inc., and he is going to provide us the male, and he's going to take care of getting the 2 snakes together. He's going to make sure that the eggs are taken care of, and we'll basically split the eggs 50-50. But with her being a 4-gene reptile and his 4 to 5 gene reptile, each one of their offspring, the cheapest one out of about 25 to 35 offspring a year, the cheapest one will be $2,500. So they're not only a pet that you grow to love and appreciate, but they also can make the money as well. In the next part of this video, you're going to see, again, a feeding of our 3 reticulated pythons. And the other 2 are a special kinds. You see, they have special genes that when they're old enough and they blend together, they will produce a reticulated python called a cow reticulated python. We're very excited about that.
We're going to have a baby cow.
Baby cows! We're very excited about that for a few reasons. They're beautiful. We can't wait to interact with them.
They're black spot cows.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is also a great investment. Now, as far as reticulated pythons go, you may be thinking, well, I'm not ready for something like that. But at the same time, keep in mind, they start out small, and as you're about to see in the next part of this video, when we feed them, they are fairly easy to take care of when they're small. And as they grow, and it's going to take a good 1.5 years before they are anywhere near 10 feet. But as they grow, your ability to take care of them grows with them, and you also form a relationship bond with them over that time as well. You feed them, you handle and interact with them, although when you feed them, I like to wait about 1.5 days before I interact with them again. You clean out their plastic totes, their plastic enclosures, and you just take care of them. They are fairly simple to take care of. And if you want any more information, please, by all means, put something in the comments, and we'll let you see some more about our reticulated pythons. Give us some comments about some things you want to know about.
Leave that comment down below.
Leave a comment down below. This is Laura, Jackson, and Jeremy saying, stay pointlessly relevant.
Yay! Laura, I love you.
Hello, this is Jeremy Garrett.
Welcome back to another video of Pointlessly Relevant.
Yes, welcome back to another great video. Jackson is back, I'm Jeremy, and this is Jackson. This is Pointlessly Relevant. For those of you who want to see it, this is a feeding of the reticulated pythons. Now, these rats and mice were already dead. They were in our freezer, and we just thawed them out and warmed them up, so this will not be a live feeding. We don't do that, and our snakes typically don't want that anyway. So, hope that this is an educational experience for you. I know that some of you are reptile fans, and maybe this will help you out. Okay, we will get to work. Right now, I'm opening up the pen for Opal. Opal is our, she's about 7 feet long.
You can't feed all of them.
Not Opal. Please go ahead and bring in the camera if you don't mind.
Well, everyone is in a separate screen top.
Alright, okay, so, as you can see, Opal already knows what's happening. She has happy eyes right now. This is her rat that she loves. Now watch closely how fast this happens.
Eat it. Opal.
Well, or maybe she's shy.
Oh,
goodness! Alright, what I'm doing right now is that I'm shaking it a little bit, okay? Just a little bit to mimic her in nature. Because right now she's going to constrict it a little bit more so it can't breathe. And I'm not shaking it near as much now. And I've stopped shaking it. And she believes that she has suffocated it to death and will go on to swallow it whole. which is a long process that at some point maybe we will try to provide for the viewers. Now we're going to move on to our smaller reticulated pythons, and one of them is named Cupcake.
I'll feed this one. This one is
Okay,
mine.
that would be totally fine, Jackson.
This one is my snake.
This is one of Jackson's snakes. Now, Jackson, you know what to do. Pinch that in your hand right there, and hold it in front of Cupcake.
Cupcake. Cupcake.
You got to get closer, Jackson.
Food.
Here you go.
Cupcake. Cupcake. Eat your food.
Oh, she sees it.
Cupcake. Cupcake. Eat your
Jackson, here. I don't think that you're close enough. I'll finish it off.
food.
It's okay, Cupcake.
Cupcake, eat your food.
Oh, there it
she
is.
does it
And again, I'm doing a little bit of shaky. All right. And there, Cupcake has been taken care of. We will go ahead and put her lid back on and make sure that we lock it on both sides because they are very inquisitive animals. And now we will do Crankpot. Crankpot is another reticulated python, a beautiful retic, but quite frankly earns her nickname, Crankpot. But she's typically a really good eater. Let's see how she does. Raphael the Crankpot. Oh, great job. Great job. All right, I'm going to shake it just a little bit. Shake it just a little bit.
She gets it automatically because she really likes eating things.
All right, there we go.
It's like she wants to eat us.
Now, I've already prepared a couple of extra mice for Crankpot and Cupcake, but I will go ahead and feed those later. This is Jeremy Guerin and Jackson from Pointlessly Relevant signing off. Have a wonderful day.
This was a really short